It makes you feel so good.
Here, have another glass, Lou.
Sports scandals on Geraldo tonight after Nightline.
We have heard some criticism in the past year about how we in the media never report the good or the success stories in neighborhoods that are plagued by crime and violence.
Well, tonight we begin the first of an occasional series of reports about hope, about getting help, and about people doing good for each other.
Kirby Perkins takes us inside Boston to look at one family's struggle and the people who reached out to help them.
He looks and he walks like a former linebacker. Some of the kids call him the King School's gentle giant.
Single file, single file.
He is a combat veteran of Vietnam, so he believes in discipline. But he also knows the value of a pat on the back.
That was an excellent job the other day. You know what? You made me see you got a lot of potential.
His name is Stephen Leonard, principal of the Martin Luther King Middle School. From the outside, you'd swear he presides over a reform school. Grates on all the windows, doors locked all the time.
Good afternoon.
Steve Leonard says he hates all the security, but asks rhetorically, what choice do I have? His aging, decaying schoolhouse sits right in the middle of the most violent, gang-dominated streets in Roxbury. So he's turned his middle school into a fortress, his way of letting the kids know they don't have to be prisoners of the poverty that surrounds them. Their school is a safe haven.
The one indisputable service that I have to prove every day is that I can create a safe environment.
Right behind Steve Leonard's safe haven is Intervale Street, home turf for the Intervale gang. But right up there, that third-floor apartment, that is home turf for one of Steve Leonard's students, Brian Hamilton. Young Brian has been struggling against long odds for all of his 13 years. Brian's real father left a long time ago. He then became very close to his stepfather, Mark, until Mark was stabbed to death by a crack addict right outside their apartment.
I seen blood all in the hallway, and I just fell to my knees, and it was terrible.
Brian's mother, Darlene, just couldn't handle her misery over her husband's murder. So young Brian then watched helplessly as his mom became a crack addict.
My kids were gone for a week, and I didn't realize that they were gone.
But young Brian wasn't about to accept his mother's habit, her decline into oblivion. He kept after her until she went in for treatment and counseling.
There was a time that there was no hope for me. I really felt like giving up.
Finally, Darlene and drugs were separated, but she, Brian, and his younger sister Markia had a new problem: no place to live. For 14 months, they went from welfare motels to homeless shelters, winding up at this family shelter a few blocks from the King School. To get to his new school, Brian had to walk up Intervale Street, and the streetwise tough guys of the Intervale gang pointed their recruiting fingers at this new arrival and said, "We want you."
Do they say, "Come on, let's join a gang"? I mean, what did they say?
Like, come to the store, I'll buy you something.
Was that right?
Yeah, some gang members tried to draft him, and I went to school with him every single day until them boys just left him alone.
While Brian's mom was getting him past the gang's turf to Steve Leonard's safe haven, he wasn't doing much in class. Without a home with so much trouble in the last couple of years, he'd lost confidence in himself. He was always off to the side or in the back, nothing more than a passively passing student.
Oh, eat your lunch and be quiet. Eat your lunch and be quiet.
Enter the irrepressible Jackie Burnett, Principal Stephen Leonard's secret weapon. Jackie's into everyone's business, a born do-gooder.
Get your behinds in that class on time, and then we wouldn't be having the same conversation.
Tough talking but compassionate Jackie saw Brian's mom walking him to school every day. She started prying, and little by little got Mom to open up.
And she shared with me that she was in a shelter, that she was really having a difficult time.
Jackie quickly went into action. She knew Brian needed a home before he could be expected to complete his homework. So with a little cajoling, a bit of bureaucratic browbeating, and a touch of good luck, Brian's family soon had a small apartment right behind the school. It wasn't much. Their beds were tattered cushions from a reclaimed couch. But Jackie wasn't done. She got someone with a big heart and a medium-sized pickup truck to take Darlene down to an old warehouse where the Coalition for the Homeless gives away secondhand chairs and beds.
Markia!
It was all hand-me-down stuff that Brian helped carry up 3 flights, but he didn't care. He finally had his own bed in his own room in his own family apartment. Just a place for Mom to cook dinner while he did his homework.
All those who say no, stand up.
And what about the kid in the back who never said anything?
Why is it a hard task, Brian? Tell us.
There were no models or blueprints to follow.
Thank you. There it is. Let's give him a hand. All right. All right.
These days, after settling into his new home, his eager hand is always shooting upward. And just down the hall, during a free period, Mom is learning about computers, courtesy of Jackie and Principal Steve Leonard.
Wow.
3 weeks later, report card day for Brian.
You made the honor roll. Congratulations. Don't get so excited.
All the odds were against him, and with help, support, and a whole lot of intestinal fortitude, he's making it. Brian is our hope.
The King School was able to reach out to Brian and his mom because its principal, Steve Leonard, refuses to confine his educational efforts to the classroom. He knows that many, if not most, of the inner city kids who come to his school come with baggage. If he and his teachers ignore those outside problems and concentrate exclusively on teaching the 3 R's, they will never reach kids like Brian. And if they don't reach them, someone else, like a recruiter for the Intervale gang, probably will. Chet?
Remarkable story, Kirby. I know it's not over. You have another part tomorrow.
Well, tomorrow we're going to, well, if I was Dick Albert, I guess what I'd do is I'd put MGS up on the map for more good stuff.
Good.
A story of a guy who's been doing this sort of work for a long time. Probably one of the best people I've met in 20 years of toiling in these journalistic vineyards.
Good enough. We'll look forward to that. All right, next in sports, the Celtics close out a perfect season in Hartford. They're home away from home.
And in Winter Haven, the question rages, who's on first? Mike Lynch joins us with sports next.
Nice piece.